Riley Moss is going to give up a touchdown on this play. But look, I always have to highlight here in defensive back play. Riley has great freaking coverage. There's nothing you can do in a situation like this. He's got press leverage here against Chris Godwin. Godwin has a great release. Riley does a great job of mirror stepping him on the goal line fade, turns into a back shoulder. And this is just a well-placed football by Baker Mayfield, right? We talk about high and to the outside. Watch Riley here. Good job. Mirror step right here. He's with him. Gets in phase. He's in good position right here. This is just a well-placed football high to the outside, a little bit on that back shoulder. Riley's got a hand inside the honey pot here, and Godwin still hauls in. That's a tough catch. Now watch it again. Technique-wise, this is fantastic by Riley Moss. You're going to live with this as a defensive coordinator, as a defensive backs coach. As a cornerback, you have to live with it. So don't be down on Riley Moss. Great freaking coverage. Even better throw by Baker Mayfield to Chris Godwin on this play. Riley Moss, he's balling at cornerback this year. He's fun to watch. Broncos country, John Franklin Myers is going to be the subject of our film review play here. He's going to come up with a sack, one of Denver's 7 sacks on the afternoon. So what do we have from a coverage standpoint? The Bucs come out in 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends. Tight end right here is going to block chip release, 1001, run a little bit of a crossing pattern here. This tight end is going to leak out to the flat. Running back's going to help out in pass protection. Number 1 down here at the bottom of the screen against PS2, what you're going to see from him, he's going to stem, inside release, run vertically. PJ Locke's going to roam the middle of the field. Chris Godwin up top is going to run vertical as well. Riley Moss is going to stay on him in coverage. Brandon Jones blitzing off the edge. You have a 5-man pressure send here. Bonitto is going to fake the pressure, drop back, and help inside coverage as Singleton covers the middle. Barton's going to cover whatever goes out into the flat here. Overall, good execution by Denver defensively. Franklin Myers shoots inside. Baker Mayfield has nowhere to go, right? The running back here is going to have to pick up, obviously, Brandon Jones. Baker doesn't have time to even dump it off to this guy in the flats. Good coverage right here from Riley Moss staying on top of Chris Godwin. He's going to run with him. Pat Surtain's going to stay stride for stride with number 1 down at the screen, number 1 receiver. He is number 10 on the field while PJ roams the middle. And then you just have good communication. Cody Barton's going to crash down on the flat. Nik Bonitto's going to drop back. And he's going to help if this guy comes inside because Singleton's playing this middle right here. Overall, I like the look. Vance Joseph gave a lot of different looks here to the Bucs offense, and it made Baker Mayfield hold on to the ball a little bit. The pass rush was really good. So let's take a look at how the meat was made here. DJ Jones playing inside of 1 technique. He's going to shoot inside. Zach Allen right here playing inside a 4-eye. He's going to crash inside as well. JFM's going to step down and climb inside. Jonathon Cooper coming off the edge. Nik Bonitto showing it, but then Brandon Jones coming here, obviously on the outside edge, keeping the outside contained. Really like this look here by Denver. Look, DJ's going to shoot inside. He's already being held here by the center. Zach Allen's going to fight inside. DJ's going to climb. JFM shimmies inside there, makes a move. Baker literally has nothing to do. The game plan was don't let him preheat the oven. Don't let him get in rhythm. JFM and the Broncos front 7 combined with good coverage in the secondary made it hard for Baker Mayfield to do anything in Sunday's game. The Broncos defense was on fire against the Buccaneers this past week. You're going to get motion here. Trips left, gun right. Broncos playing a cover 2 look here. Mike Evans in the slot. Patrick Surtain against him. Jaquan McMillan lined up outside against Chris Godwin, who's the intended receiver here. And then you're going to have Brandon Jones right here, the subject of our film study, because he comes away with the interception. From a route concept, what are we going to see here? Now, obviously, the tight end motion draws it to where the cornerback, Riley Moss, is going to come up and play press. This wide receiver right here is going to run an over route here around the 40. Tailback's going to swing out here. Tight end's going to chip 1001, come across. And then Mike Evans, the intended receiver, he's going to run an over route, kind of like a corner, and gets turned around, kind of pirouetted here against his cover 2 look. Brandon Jones is going to jump it. Chris Godwin, step one side, 1001, release and sit. I think Jaquan McMillan right here does a great job. So does Brandon Jones. So let's take a look at it and we'll overview it as the play goes. Now, you see the release here. Really, they could free up an inside route here, but you have PS2 right here, so why would you do that? So Mike Evans is going to release vertical. Jaquan McMillan keeping everything in front of him right here in his back pedal. And Brandon Jones climbing over the top. PJ over the top here. Riley Moss outside leverage. Great communication here by Denver's defense. You see them talking. Now Jaquan, he's like, okay, hey, I'm looking. Now Godwin's going to sit here. Okay, who's going to play? Is it going to be Surtain or is it going to be Jaquan? Ideally, this cover 2, you want to play this. But Jaquan kind of baits because now He sees that Baker's hitching up. He's getting ready to throw that corner route. Brandon Jones does a great job tracking and climbing the distance, throws that into a tough spot, jumps the route, interception. Let's take a look at it again in slow motion. Good underneath there, toughly contested coverage, interception, good return. What does our blocking look like? You got guys going after people here. Going to have to maybe watch for the peel back. You can't do that. He's going to go find somebody. He's going to go find somebody. You love to see the return. Nice little shifty move inside. Alex Singleton's coming down here to block. And the Broncos open up inside the red zone. They score another touchdown off of this. A good start for Denver overall in this game. Now let's take a look at the defensive line. What does the front look like? Now, if you notice here, Nik Bonitto, usually starting outside linebacker, right? So you have Zach Allen right here. He's lined up in what we call a 4-eye offensive tackle. It could be a 5, which is head up on the tackle there. Tight ends out here is going to chip release Jonathon Cooper, and obviously Tristan Wirfs out here on the outside. But Nik Bonitto want to stand up. Alex Singleton showing up right there. They're really just kind of spreading things out here. Passing situation. Bonito's going to drop here. Singleton's going to drop here. Levi Wallace is going to drop and cover anything inside here. John Franklin Myers on the outside. Zach Allen right here. Jonathon Cooper right here. You have a 3-man rush. Baker's going to throw that, and look, that's just a great play there by Jaquan, by the pass rush, by Brandon Jones reading that, climbing, getting over, good depth, good angles, good communication. Broncos defense gets a much-needed forced takeaway in this game. Tampa Bay Buccaneers trying to go no huddle here, something that has cost the Broncos with some big plays in the first 2 weeks of the season, not in week 3. So what are we going to see? Baker Mayfield in empty right here. He's the only guy in the backfield. Running backs right here is the number 3 guy. Godwin's here is number 2. Number 10 is lined up on the outside. He's number 1. Tight end right here and wide receiver here. So what are we going to see? You're going to see from number 15, number 1 at the bottom of the screen is going to run the speed out against zone coverage. Passer Tange is going to play off and outside. PJ is going to roam here. Riley Moss here. He's going to be playing essentially man coverage because what are we going to have here on this look? Well, you're going to have from a pass rush standpoint, you're going to have your defensive lineman coming. Jonah Ellis is going to attack like he's going to rush, and he's going to drop back and sit. Baker is looking to go to this left side to potentially hit this tight end on a little bit of a quick sit, but Jonah's underneath. Alex Singleton's playing the middle right here. So because you're blitzing these guys, and you're also blitzing Cody Barton at inside linebacker, you're blitzing the nickel here, Baker has to try to find a way to make a play, and right now there is nothing open for him because he's looking to the left side. Now, if his eyes were to the right side, he would find this tailback right here wide open, or he could sling it really quickly here to Chris Godwin because Riley Moss has to protect deep against his vertical route. Brandon Jones is going to come down to guard, obviously, Chris Godwin here. Running back is wide open, but nothing here because the tight end's going to sit. Jonah Ellis drops back, and the speed out's not there because Surtain's over the top. Baker doesn't have enough time, and now he's got pressure from Brandon Jones coming through. Zach Allen there. Dondrea Tillman comes in and cleans it up for his first career sack of the regular season. As you can see, a little bit of the hurry up. What do you have here? 3 technique. Outside of the tight end right here. Inside shade of the offensive tackle. He's in a 4-eye, and then Dondrea Tillman can't even get his hand set, can't even get set, but you're going to see the blitz here from Barton. You're going to see Jaquan coming off right here. Good overall inside run there by Zach Allen. He's had a hell of a year. DJ Jones fighting off right here. Cody Barton's in a one-on-one against the guard. One-on-one by Tillman outside with the right tackle. And then, Baker hesitates because he's trying to go to this tight end. Jonah Ellis drops back. This was a good defensive call by Vance Joseph, and Baker was living in hell on Sunday's game, not only in the heat, but against the Broncos defense. Great communication here by the Broncos defense, forcing Baker Mayfield to throw it away. Now, what do we have here coverage-wise? This is zone, and I love how Denver varies some press looks. They do a good job, in my opinion, disguising, right? Because you're going to see Jaquan McMillan right here. You're going to see a 2-high look. Someone tell Mel Kiper to stop crying out there. You're going to have press up here. You're going to have outside leverage. But Riley Moss, he's just going to play back. Patrick Surtain's going to play back here. And then you're going to see Jaquan McMillan actually drop deep here. Brandon Jones looks like he's going to kind of rob inside right here. PJ Locke playing over the top. But then you're going to have Jonathon Cooper jamming, getting out here as well. And Alex Singleton is going to be blitzing inside. Nik Bonitto right here is going to be dropping back and covering the inside as well for any crosser. So what routes do we have here as we're looking at this route? Outside release, vertical here. You're going to see an out route, but then it's a scramble drill, so he's going to pivot back inside. You're going to have this guy going inside right here. Chris Godwin's extending vertical and is also going to be looking inside. So Broncos do a good job right here. As you can see, Jonathon Cooper dropping back. He's coming here. He's going to boom, outside. Good overall penetration and pass rush here by Denver. Baker's looking for something, and it's not there. Look, he's even thinking, hey, maybe I can catch this guy here. But you got a defender right here, a defender right here. It's not going to be there. Godwin is covered. You got help over the top right here from the corner. You got help over the top inside from Jaquan McMillan, and you also have underneath help here from Jonathon Cooper. So now that it turns into a scramble drill, it gets outside. Zach Allen sees him, does a great job mirroring him step for step. This is great footwork over here by Zach Allen. Good angles. And he does a great job tracking that and chasing that. Jonathon Cooper comes up to help. Baker has to throw this football away. So let's take a look at it from the other angle here. Now you're going to see it from this standpoint where, okay, hey, interior DJ Jones, he's playing either inside a 2-eye or a 1-tech, so he's just playing split apex inside the A gap here. You're going to have a 4-eye right here. You're going to have Zach Allen. He's playing a 5 technique, which is head up on the offensive tackle. And then you got Bonitto and Cooper out wide. Both going to drop back into coverage. I like that. Send the blitz. Drop everybody back in coverage. Let's take a look at the overall design. DJ's going to come inside. Alex is going to replace and blitz in right here. JFM is going to try to attack and create a double team here while Bonitto drops back into coverage. Zach Allen's going to work against these two guys here. And they don't think that Cooper's going to come, but Cooper's going to jam and drop back into coverage. So now, hey, you got time. TJ Jones barrels over this guy. Now you got a one-on-one with JFM and Tristan Wirfs. And now you get buried up underneath here. Alex Singleton does because he gets the guard and the running back double teaming him. Zach Allen does a good job spinning outside. And now watch this. Tracking Baker Mayfield. Nope, not going to go anywhere. Chases it down the line. Let's watch it in slow motion here again. Nice move here. This was just a good overall performance. Good communication in the secondary by the Broncos defense. Good pursuit here on the scramble drill by Denver's defense and Zach Allen, forcing an incomplete pass. Dondrea Tillman on this play gets his second sack of the day. He'll come under focus, especially once we get to the end zone angle. But as you all know, defensively, we have to look at the big picture. We have to look at the coverage looks here. And, man, does Vance Joseph send the heat on this one. You're going to have not only your outside linebackers, your defensive line blitzing, you're going to be having your inside linebacker blitz and your safety. This is going to be a 7-man blitz here from Vance Joseph. So that means that you have really 2v2 in terms of coverage because this running back is going to be forced to stay in and pass protect here. But Godwin, they're going to kind of run a little bit of a pick route here where number one on the outside is going to run and try to get in the way of Jaquan McMillan, and it's going to free up Chris Godwin coming in on an out route where he can maybe catch it in the flat and try to extend for a touchdown. Same thing here. Mike Evans is going to really run the pick route inside here against, obviously, Brandon Jones. Pastor Tan's going to fight underneath it, and then this tight end is going to run up here into the end zone. Really love this pressure look. They don't even show it. Now, bang, it's like right when the ball snapped. Pressure, 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 pressure. It is coming from the Broncos defense, and it's going to end up being Dondrea Tillman who fights a little bit of a weak chip here by the tight end, beats the right tackle here, and gets Baker Mayfield for the sack. I mean, there's nothing because covered. Now right here, Baker, if he had time, might be able to find this tight end here, but Brandon Jones recovering from the pick there. Maybe it could have been called offensive pass interference. Covered right here, nowhere to go. He can't get outside, and then Dondrea Tillman wraps him up alongside help with P.J. Locke, and second sack for the undrafted rookie free agent, a star in the UFL. Fought really hard to make the active roster, and now he's on it because of Baron Browning's injury. Denver's getting an extensive look at some of their young guys. Tillman, he's a fun player to watch. Now, what do we have here from our pressure look in terms of where a guy's lined up? You have what we call a 0 because he's head up right now on the center. You have a 4-eye right here, inside shade of the offensive tackle. And then this is a 6 because he's kind of outside shoulder of the offensive tackle. Tillman out wide. Jonah Ellis out wide. Alex Singleton's going to blitz here. PJ's going to blitz here. It is chaos here, and Vance Joseph loves creating it. Singleton comes through. You get a one-on-one here. Now, obviously, PJ is going to be coming free. One-on-one here with Jonah Ellis and Tristan Wirfs. Zach Allen against the left guard. John Franklin Myers right here against the right guard. And Dondrea Tillman fighting through the block here is going to get a one-on-one against the right tackle. does a good job, I think, engaging, two-handed contact. He's not getting really pushed in, but now he's got his hand free, does a good job separating there. Right hand extended inside on the outside shoulder or inside shade there of the offensive tackle. His outside hand is free. He's able to wrap up Baker Mayfield to get his second sack. First NFL game, 2 sacks for Dondrea Tillman. Love the Broncos' pass rush depth right now, and the pressure looks that Vance Joseph is throwing at opposing teams right now. Denver's defense, they're playing some really good football here to start the season. The Broncos defense is getting more and more comfortable with Vance Joseph's scheme. And, man, they play fast. They have different blitz looks that they're going to send after Baker Mayfield. On this one, right, it looks like you're going to have your outside linebackers and your defensive line coming. That's not the case. It's going to be your 2 down linemen and your 2 inside linebackers are going to blitz, whereas Jonathon Cooper is going to jam Chris Godwin right here and drop back and help underneath. Nik Bonitto is going to jam this wide receiver right here, help climb back underneath while you have man coverage across the board here. Really good play while you have a safety lurking over the top. Just good design here by Denver. Route concept standpoint, Mike Evans is going to run vertical here. Chris Godwin's going to get jammed off and then try to run an out route here. And then number 2 is just going to climb across the field. Jaquan McMillan puts the strap on him, and then Brandon Jones is going to cover right here on number 1 at the bottom of the screen. And then you have pass protection here from the running back. Good job here, good disguise look, because really the Broncos don't show the blitz from their linebackers. Let's look at it here again. Now, obviously, they're both plugging the gaps there. Now a little bit of a hole creates inside. Baker's going to take it and dump it off, but look at Nik Bonitto right here. Good pursuit by him, good pursuit by Jonathon Cooper. They're going to attract while Zach Allen chases from behind. Not a lot to do there. And this is 4th down, too. This is huge. Baker's got to get to here. He's not going to get it because Nik Bonitto is going to wrap him up. Zach Allen's going to come in and finish it up as well. This was a huge play by the Broncos defense on Sunday. They are playing with energy. What do we have here? Okay, we have what we call a 2-eye because this defensive lineman here is inside shade of the offensive guard. Out here you have a 4-eye. He's inside shade of the offensive tackle. And then you're going to have, obviously, your blitz looks here from your linebackers, and it creates a little bit of a hole here. Good pickup here by Tampa's running back, Rachaad White. Good pickup here by the offensive guard. Now the hole is there. You get the other guard to peel backside. Everyone's saying, hey, okay, now let's get out and try to get these guys and try to block them. You see it there. Cooper, good pursuit angle here. Nik Bonitto forces Baker Mayfield to really kind of pause here because now, hey, this guy's trying to get nearest threat. Ideally, he should probably try to block him because then Baker can maybe get a bigger gain here. Doesn't happen that way. Sack, turnover on downs. Good blitz look here by the Broncos. Great coverage across the board. Nowhere to go for Baker Mayfield in the passing game on Sunday against Denver's defense. Big play here by the Broncos defense. They're going to force a fumble here on 3rd and goal, right? So 3rd and goal means that they really have these guys backed up, and the Buccaneers have to get to here, right? They get this down, and if they, convert and get like a shorter play, even inside on the 1, they'll have one more play to try to score here. Denver's defense has them backed up in a good position. Now, on this play, Mike Evans, he's going to run a deep over. Chris Godwin is going to run a deep over as well. Number 1 right here on the outside, he's going to run a vertical route, and then the tight end is going to chip, release out to the flat. Tailback's going to run a wheel right here, kind of a swing out, and Denver's going to play what looks like to be man coverage here because you have a single receiver. So Pat's going to follow Mike Evans inside, safety help over the top. You're going to have some inside help here from Alex Singleton, who's going to get a little bump chip on him. And then communication, I think you got zone on this side here because Riley Moss is going to backpedal, play underneath here, and then Jaquan McMillan is going to play that curl to flat. Jaquan's going to rally here to the tight end who catches the ball here in the flat. He's going to hold them up. Riley Moss is going to come in and force the fumble. So really good coverage here. Man to one side, zone on the other here for the Broncos, as you could see. I mean, Baker really, if he wanted to, he could do the outlet dump off here to the tailback, and then everybody just rallies and tries to take a pursuit angle there. He sees he's going to throw it here to the tight end. Okay, hey, maybe you're going to have a 4th and goal from the 10 at this point. Good stick up here by Jaquan McMillan holding the tight end up. Good job by Riley Moss coming in, thumping the football out. Brandon Jones does the rest. Scoop, and recovery. Let's watch it in slow motion. As you see the routes developing, Pat is climbing over the top here of Mike Evans. Godwin's climbing here. PJ's getting depth right here. Jaquan's going to stay back and attack anything that goes to the flat. Riley Moss, he's just shuffle stepping outside while you have a safety right here who can help on anything in breaking. So, I mean, really, you can have the safety over the top, which allows Riley, I think, if he wants to play underneath on this, he can, which he really does because now he's in trail tech. Throw the option here. Rally to the football, wrap up, come in, knock the football out. Recovery there, forced turnover. Brandon Jones had an interception earlier in this game. He had a fumble recovery. Good play there by Riley Moss. Riley has really emerged as a fun young cornerback here for the Broncos, opposite of PS2. The kid can play some football. So what do you have from your defensive line? What are the alignments? You have a 2-eye right here, inside shade of the offensive guard. Over here on Tristan Wirfs, you can maybe say that this is a 5 because you can make the argument he's head up with the offensive tackle, or if he's a little bit of a shade inside, we'll call that a 4-eye as always. And on this, I think you have a 6 because he's outside shade of the offensive tackle. Jonah Ellis, Dondrea Tillman here once again. I mean, the Broncos, right there, maybe illegal hands to the face here against Zach Allen. You got JFM throwing dudes in the dirt here. The Broncos pass rush, they are physical. They are winning their one-on-ones. They're winning the physicality rate against offensive lines. Let's take a look at the scoop and score and the hit here from Riley Moss once again. Bang, dislodges the football. You love to see that. And then everyone on the sideline is going to give the rolling hands where they're saying, hey, run, 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 run. Now Brandon Jones cuts it back inside. Smart decision. He's going to get more yards here. But, man, it was hot. It was almost 120 in terms of overall temperature. I bet Brandon Jones lost 10 pounds on that return there. All right, Broncos country, Jonathon Cooper is going to get the sack on this play. He's the subject of the film review, but as we always look at the wide angle, we're going to look at the coverage, we're going to look at the routes, right? So I always want to go through some of the teaching process. When I was coaching, we always talked about it. And when I played, my coaches always talked about it. They passed this on to me. From a defensive back standpoint, from a coverage standpoint, how do we number receivers? We always number, look at the top of the screen, we always number from the sideline in. So what does that mean? That means that this guy right here is number 1, this guy right here is number 2, this guy right here is number 3, and then Godwin right here is number 4. And then on the opposite side here, this guy will be number 1 if we're looking at the opposing sideline. So we always number that. Okay, so now you have an empty look here from Baker Mayfield and the Buccaneers offense. You're going to get a false motion. He's just going to sit out here in the flats. But your routes here from number 2 and number 3, obviously number 2 is Mike Evans. He's going to run vertical and turn it into a little bit of a post. Number 3 right here is going to extend vertical zone between the numbers and the hash, and he's going to run inside vertically as well. But the Broncos have this covered. Chris Godwin, number 4, he's just going to run a wheel route, which is covered by Jaquan McMillan. Then you have Riley Moss playing outside. The tight end right here is going to chip release Nik Bonitto and then run out. And then you have Brandon Jones. He's just going to rob inside and help PJ underneath while PJ has over the top. And then you have Alex Singleton and Cody Barton. They're playing the middle right here. Denver's got a really good design. This is just a 4-man rush here. Jordan Jackson does a great job winning his one-on-one against the left guard. Jonathon Cooper outside against Tristan Wirfs. And then John Franklin Myers commanding a double team from the center and the guard where you get this chip help from the wide receiver or tight end on Bonitto, and then it's a one-on-one with the offensive tackle. Good overall look here to get the sack by Denver's defense. Now, we always say, hey, motion is window dressing. You can see Jaquan McMillan just communicated a combo call. Now it's just about reacting. Patrick Surtain's going to climb depth here. PJ's going to roam over the top. Jaquan's going to identify anything coming out here. And obviously, you look at the film, okay, hey, he sees, hey, Godwin's coming underneath right here. I'm going to account for that because I also have Pat over the top. I have PJ. I have Brandon Jones lurking inside here. So now he's going to see that. And ideally, look, Baker, if he wants to turn and throw it to this tailback, he can. And then you have rally, tackle. I mean, this is well covered, well designed. But now they turn it into a wheel route. You're going to get inside, good coverage. There is nothing for Baker Mayfield here. And I think the Broncos' 4-man rush, they do a good job getting home. Let's take a look at it once again here. We'll watch it in slow motion. Just good coverage, good communication by the secondary, good pressure by the Broncos' defensive line here. Baker Mayfield gets wrapped up by Nik Bonitto, escapes a little bit, and then Jonathon Cooper comes in to clean it up. But now if we're going to look at the pass rush, let's take a look here at the end zone angle. This is where everything is magical, right? You got Jordan Jackson right here playing in a 3 technique. You got John Franklin Myers playing in a 4-eye. A 3 tech, as I always like to teach, is going to be the outside shoulder of the offensive guard. You can even say that this is an apex because he's really in between the tackle and the guard. If he was lined up right here on this shade of the tackle, we'd call it a 4-eye, but he's tilted to the 3 technique right here. 4-eye because he's inside shade of the offensive tackle. Jonathon Cooper on the outside. Nik Bonitto coming off the outside edge here. Watch right here, too, because this really sets it up. These guys, this is Jordan Jackson. He's going to win his one-on-one right here against the left guard. Jonathon Cooper is going to have a good point of attack here against Tristan Wirfs, one of the best offensive tackles in football. Now, you always want to say, hey, against Baker Mayfield, you got to keep contained. If Cooper were to just try to crash inside, Baker could get outside. So the emphasis is, hey, we want to attack upfield, but we want to close the distance between us and Mayfield so he can't get outside. That's why you got Bonitto coming wide here. Now you got a one-on-one with him in the right tackle. These guys are going to fight for their life against JFM and really every window that Baker's trying to throw, right? Ideally, he's looking across right here to see if that number 3 receiver is going to be there, but you got Brandon Jones lurking. You've got Alex Singleton right here. There's nowhere for Baker to go. And then Jordan Jackson just pushing the left guard back into Baker's lap. Baker really had nowhere to go. Nik Bonitto and everybody else, they come in and they clean things up here on this play. So let's see it again here in slow motion. Love it. This was just an efficient rep here by Denver's defense. Once again, it all starts with communication pre-snap, communication during the snap. You got to go through and make plays. That's exactly what the Broncos defense did against Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday.